Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Map Completionist. Last time we got 23% of Plains of Ashford completed. We made it all the way up to the Old Duke's estate, grabbed some chests in places along the way, and got ourselves a nice bottle of Bairden family wine for our fine wining collection. And now we are going to go ahead and continue south towards Victor's Presidium. It's right down here. We've got one heart, 2 points of interest, a waypoint, and a vista down here. So there's quite a bit of little things down here, and there's also going to be a script chest for the script burglar achievement. I don't know if it will actually be there. If it's not there when I actually get to that area, I may just have to cut and find it on a map later, which will kind of be a pain in the butt, but we'll see what happens. So first thing we're going to grab here is the Veers Gate waypoint. And as we can see on the map, this is around, I believe this is around the level when nodes actually start becoming available. A lot of them don't show up in the lower levels, so I'm gonna grab this onion just cause. And so we've got a nice vista here. Looks like we're gonna have to do a little jumping to get up there. So one of the things I've been thinking about, instead of doing a lot of the fast forwarding, I am still going to fast forward certain parts, but I'm just gonna put it on 200% and like how to get to an area should people want to see it. I might put an annotation up if you want to figure out how to get to the vista yourself, so you can skip it. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and get there now. Alright, so we got the vista, and I'm going to go ahead, hop down safely from here. Try not to kill myself.
His grave's near Ashford.
And we'll go ahead and grab this point of interest. This is... which point of interest is this? The Sharptail Encampment. We got some events here and stuff, which I may do this event just so I can complete the heart. We gotta defeat Ghost, assist Ash Legion patrols, rescue downed soldiers, destroy Ascalonian artifacts and statues. So we're harassing the dead. That's just kind of how it goes, because otherwise they would kill us. This is where I'm going to cut, because I don't think a lot of people really care to see the heart stuff. And I kind of just fast forwarded last video, but I'm going to legitimately cut now. If you guys have feedback on that, let me know. I'm still trying to feel out how this guide is going to work. So these early episodes are probably going to end up being a lot rougher than stuff later on. Hey guys, so I completed the heart while doing this escort event, and it does lead down into Decimus Stones, which is right down here. The only thing really in Decimus Stones is a waypoint here.
Set up camp. Camouflage what you can.
The guard point, Decimus waypoint, so I figured I'd go ahead and grab that since it took me down here, because there is still point of interest for Victor's Presidium over here that we're going to grab. Plus, of course, there's still the Scrit Chest location that I have to go to for Victor's Presidium. In Decimus Stones, there's also a Splendid chest. You gotta fight through a bunch of vet ghosts to get there. Now, I'm trying to remember where it is, so I might have to do a little fast forwarding here. So, we'll see. Okay, sorry about that. So yes, we're at the Guard Decimus waypoint. There is a Splendid chest, as I said, inside Decimus Stones. It's up here. I was doing a quick mapping of it first. It's also not easy to get by yourself, so I have a guildmate with me. Your friend does not have to be level 80 in order to reach this chest. but he's just gonna give me a hand real quick because there are a lot of enemies back here. Actually, there, now there's some players in this area, so I may have been able to do it without him. But there is a vet. Last I checked, there is a vet in 4 regular enemies, which can be a little overwhelming if you don't have any sort of stealth abilities or you're new. So this is definitely a chest you would probably go after, you know, only if you have other people on you. Um, like I said, it's just a splendid chest, so you may get something, decent for you to level up gear-wise in, but not, it's not the biggest deal. But we're gonna show it anyway, because I said that's what we were gonna do. This is part of the problem with this place. There's this, unfortunately, like, I gotta get out of here. This hallway. So this hallway drops a bunch of rocks on you, but then all the ghosts are on the other side. So if you're not prepared and you don't have somebody else with you, it can be very overwhelming to reach this chest.
Nothing like the spoils of war.
Oh, an enchanted map scrap. Okay, so I didn't get a chance to talk about those. I realized I didn't cover them in my intro video. I will discuss that in just a second once we are out of here. I'm going to thank my guildmate for Absen for joining me here to get this little treasure chest, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back here at the Veer's Gate waypoint up here. The unfortunately Decimus Stone's waypoint is contested, so I could not go back there after mapping. Enemies respawned very quickly while I was looking at stuff and kind of died, but that's alright. So I did want to take a moment. This enchanted map scrap, because I forgot to mention this in my intro video. The enchanted map, there's 4 pieces throughout the world. You combine them to make a treasure map, which you then use the treasure map to get an item called the Enchanted Key. That is for a rare collection known as Treasure Hunter. That item is required for it, and the map scraps drop from chests, but the part of the map that you get depends on the region that you're in. So for the region of Ascalon, you have a chance to drop part 2 of 4. And so that's all of Ascalon, and it's only ever going to be part 2 of 4. The other parts, the first part 1 of 4 is in Kryta, part 3 of 4 is in Maguma, and part 4 of 4 is in Shiver Peaks, which I will probably, once I actually get to those regions, I will cover things then. So I'm really far out now. I still have to go get this point of interest, which, oh yay, it looks like there's a boss event down there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a little bit because you've already seen me go south here. I just gotta make this run back, unfortunately. And we will grab this last point of interest in Victor's Presidium, and then we will be done with this, what are we in? The southwest corner of the map. Hey guys, future Amela here. So while I was going through this area, I accidentally forgot to grab south of the Decimus Stones waypoint. There is another waypoint that needs to be grabbed. It's not in Victor's Presidium. It's in an area known as the Langmar Estate. It is directly south of the Decimus Stones waypoint. You just got to go through this tunnel here. There's a few players already running that way, and it's just a waypoint. There's a guild puzzle there, but unless you're in a big guild that's doing it right, then it's completely useless to you, and there's nothing you have to get from there. So I went ahead and interjected this now. As you can see, there were some really weird frame rate issues that started happening in the video at this point, and I eventually figured it out, and I do mention it later on, so I'm not going to explain it here, but I am sorry about how bad the frame rate ended up being here. And back to the past. Okay, so this point that I'm at, we're halfway between the waypoint and the point of interest. I was having some weird frame rate issues, so I'm gonna have to. Unfortunately, I have to cut what was in the middle here. But as you can see, I'm on this little ledge. There's some black sheep. There's some dead black sheep. They're just corpses. If you hit control, they don't show up or anything. But this is a potential location for a script burglar chest. Now, the script burglar has. Pardon me, can I English? The script burglar in Ascalon, there's an achievement called Behind the Mask. The script burglar needs to turn you into a raccoon. Hopefully I can get that on camera at some point. I was hoping maybe the chest would be here. Unfortunately, it is not. But now it is! Future Amela interjecting once again. I happened to come back here for some things, and Script Burglar Chest was here, so I went ahead and figured, hey, why not do this? Some tips, don't use melee weapon like I am. As you can see, I got turned into the raccoon. Now, if I didn't already have the achievement, it would pop because I got turned into a raccoon for Behind the Mask. As you attack the script burglar, it will have a chance to drop loot bags, and you can grab them. Yeah, as you see, melee weapons, not exactly the best thing to use here. It constantly tries to slow you down. It cannot be affected by crowd control, so you probably want range so that you can keep hitting it. Do be warned though, if you are doing this in a low level zone trying to get, see look, it dropped a loot bag there, you can see it was a little purple bag. If you are if you're high level in a low level zone and you're trying to get the achievement, I don't really recommend that. I recommend trying to do it in a zone you're more leveled towards, but otherwise, you can kill it very quickly, way before it has a chance to even try to transform you into anything. So just be careful there if you're doing this in a lower level area. And that's basically it. You just tend to get a lot of blue loot occasionally from bag drops, and go back to the past. So, heading from the script burglar potential chest location, the point of interest over here, it's Igni Castrum, if I believe. It's right down here. The enemies here are level 8. It's for the level 8 heart, which is up in Char's Triumph. There is a level 7 heart, it's just not on my map. There's 2 level 6s on the left, and then there's level 8 in Char's Triumph. I'll have to grab the scout while I'm over there. That should grab the level 7 heart. Yeah, there's a couple players here at least. Do be careful if you're doing like I am and trying to grab this now as part of finishing off the area, just because, I mean, they are level 8 and they will kind of hurt, as you can see. But, I mean, you don't need to spend too much time in there. I was trying to be nice because I'm trying to be nice, there's players here. So, I just gotta go in, grab Igni Castrum, and you can go right back out. Hey guys, I'm back at Veer's Waypoint. I know this is going to be a very, very awkward cut because I was just down at Igni Castrum and I got Langmar's Waypoint, and there's like no indication that I was coming back here. Not a good transition at all, unfortunately. Fraps started running at 1 FPS after that, and like it getting slower and slower, and you can pick it up in the video, and I couldn't figure out why. I'm gonna go along this path heading towards Char's Triumph from the waypoint and grab that scout there along the way. But apparently I hadn't changed anything about my setup. I had plenty of space still left on my disk drive. Apparently though, Google Chrome writes to the disk very frequently, and it started fighting with Fraps. It took me like an hour to figure it out though, because nothing about my setup changed, so I didn't think it was that at all, so it took forever, but yeah, let's just go to get this over with. Oh my god, this frame rate is beautiful. It's not dipping at all. Okay, so here's the scout that we had missed before. I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. But yeah, okay, so this is the one that goes ahead and lets you know where all of these things are. So it looks like the level 7 heart, because this is the one thing that kind of bugs me about this map. So you have level 6 up here, level 6 down here, but then your level 7 is all the way back up here. So I guess if you waypointed to Feritas, you can come around. It's just a little odd how they designed the map. So I'm gonna go ahead and oh, at this point, I've completely lost track of where I was. So in case I hadn't mentioned it in my last video, when all of the uh, the frame rate problems were happening, Char's Triumph, 3 hearts, 2 points of interest, 1 waypoint, and a vista. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Temporis point here as our first waypoint and start with the level 7 heart up here. Oh, that was a bit of a hiccup, but I think that was my background changing on my computer. I need to shut that off too, but oh god, I cannot believe all this headache was from Chrome of all things. Just what nonsense that is. Alright, so we've got more ghost killing, squish spiders and their eggs, so not much new here, and like I said, I don't really think you guys care about this, so I'll cut out the heart and I will see you back at this guy. Okay, so one thing this heart does kind of bring you up into Martyr's Woods for it, even though it is in Char's Triumph. So I'm grabbing Calhan's Haunt, which is a point of interest up here in Martyr's Woods. We'll be doing a little more here in just a bit, but for now, I'm just using it to finish this heart. I'll see you back at the heart. Alright, so we've finished our level 7 heart. If we talk to this Karma vendor, he's got a couple things. Nothing important, no cool skins, just the usual couple items if you want them, because they're better than what you have. I don't know, I don't find a lot of these lower level Karma items worth it. Now there is a Vista up there, so I'll put up another annotation for anyone who wants to figure it out for themselves, but other than that, let's go. Alright, so we finished the vista. Yay! Nice little view up here. It's very pretty. I do like Ascalon very much. Let's see, can we safely jump from here? Ah, yes, we can. So we're gonna go ahead and head down here to this scout and this point of interest, and then we'll finish up down in the southern end of Char's Triumph and move on to Martyr's Woods. There's not much going on in Char's Triumph aside from this regular map completion stuff, so not too much interesting stuff to cover here, to be honest. Grab the scouts, and I think that'll be, well, Ashford Forum and stuff.
So we've set up a fighting.
Doop-a-doo. And I believe that's your level 9. So this is what I'm saying about the weird flow of the map. It works pretty well here. You know, you got your 2, and then it's like 3, and then back there is 3, so that's a little weird. But then you have 4, 5, 6, 6, and then 7's all the way back up here. And then you have 8 and 9. So it's just very weird. You're kind of all over the map, I feel. Very odd. So our point of interest is going to be up here. Doop-a-doo, doop-a-doo. Ah yes, the Victory Cenotaph. This is, I believe, it's Pyre Fierce Shot, isn't it? Yes, it is. Pyre Fierce Shot from Guild Wars 1. How do you do, sir? Alright, so that is our point of interest for over here. So we got one last point of interest here. We've got the level 8 heart, and then we got level 9, and we should be done with Char's Triumph. I am going to head back up after this to Martyr's Woods for a couple things. I don't know. Maybe I should have just flowed with the map what felt nice, but I am trying to group it into areas, and I guess that's kind of where it feels a little weird, the flow. Oh, we actually have an event for this heart. I'm super stoked. That'll make it much easier to get, because there's nothing more frustrating than not having an event doing a heart. I know I already complained about that before, but real quick we're gonna grab this point of interest in here, the Exterminatus HQ, and I will meet you back at the heart vendor once it becomes active. Who just leaves their power sources lying around? It's in the middle of the... Why? The heart is finished. I'm gonna talk to Kessis Ironbound here. Now, they do have the footwear for the Devout, Rogue, and Militia sets here. Like I said though, there are other ways to get those sets that are a bit easier. Maybe I'll cover that in another another video sometime. So you can grab them there if you really need something while you're going, but otherwise, they are at least skins that aren't going to drop for you. You gotta get them in some form from somewhere. So we're gonna go ahead, head to level 9, heart over here, and that should finish off Char's Triumph for us. One of the interesting things about this map is it's the only starter zone that doesn't have a world boss. I hadn't really been thinking about it, and then I was doing this, and I was like, huh. I realized I don't have to cover anything like Shadow Behemoth or Maw or any of that, because there isn't any of those fights here, which is kind of sad actually that it was left out. So use Pinula's rifle to capture minotaurs and drakes, then spar with them in the fighting pit. Okay, I'm here because someone mentioned rifles. Why not? Always ready to try out a new weapon. Okay. Oh dear. Now let's see if I remember how to do this one. I think I'll just hand it over to future Amela. This will be my last narration from the future, and there is good reason why I decided to get rid of my old commentary here. Some things happened we will get to in a moment, and so I felt it better just to completely redo this section in the future. Now, I decided to show this heart originally because it's the first one in this map that gives you a bundle item, and you're supposed to capture these drakes. So you get them below 50% health. Now, one of your skills causes bleeding, so you gotta watch out for that. You don't want to drain them of too much health. And then you use your number 4, launches the net. It plays this little animation here. The drake gets captured and it disappears and gives you some credit for the heart. Now, it does say there's also minotaurs. I don't actually remember where the minotaurs are and couldn't find them. I did end up getting the Adorea waypoint and discovering Lake Adorea because it's where all the drakes are hanging out, and down in the south end. That's where you got to get them all. So that ended up happening. Now, the NPC of course tells you how to do this if you read everything, but I figured, hey, why not show, because you know, may as well explain it since I'm going through and having to do it anyway. But things start getting confusing past this point. Now, it had been a while, obviously, since I had done this map, and it says that you can fight things in the pit. So now I'm turning around and I'm going back up to the pit because I planned on showing those pit fights. But this is where things go wrong. Now this heart has a tendency to get bugged. And what's going to happen is I'm going to get up here. Well, first I just talked to the NPC for some stupid reason. But I'm going to go up here and nothing's going to happen. And what should happen is when you enter the arena, there should be a pop-up that asks you when it's open like this, what difficulty level do you want to fight at? And you'll get a couple different choices, and you can choose. And if there's any other players in the area, you guys vote, and then you fight. There's also this guy up here, if it doesn't start up, his name is Bractus Bloodsand. And you notice if I talk to him and I say, what? He's like, oh, have a try at the pit or whatever, but there's no options. It's completely bugged out, and I was very confused as to what was going on here, and I didn't realize it was bugged. So if you're at this heart and this is happening, there's no asking you what difficulty you want to play at. You talk to him and nothing happens, and everybody's like, oh yeah, you want to try out the pit, but there's no option to try out the pit. It's not just you're not stupid, the heart is bugged. I wanted to show this when it was not bugged, so I figured, I was going to cut all this. That's what I planned on doing once I realized what happened, and I talked about it for a bit. But because I filmed this on a Monday, and there was a update that was supposed to come out the next day on Tuesday, but it was pushed back. And I tried guesting to other servers, and I could not get an instance of this map where this heart was not bugged out to actually show it working. And that is one of the downsides. I was saying right, in the past, right before I hit this point and did my narration over this, that it's unfortunate this map doesn't have any world bosses, and I definitely feel this way in this instance because if there was a world boss, there would be a lot of people rushing to this map at least once, to a few times a day, and there would be a bunch of different instances of this map being formed, so you're more likely to get a refreshed map that might have a working heart. I just had no luck trying to get one, so I am sorry I wasn't able to show it working, but I waited and I waited and I tried and I couldn't, and I hate to keep holding on to all this footage and not putting anything else out. I want to move on, so I'm gonna have to deal with the fact that it was bugged. So what I end up doing is I just went ahead and finished the heart by capturing drakes, which took a while. I think it was, I don't know, a good 10 or 15, somewhere between 10 and 15 drakes I had to capture to finish the heart this way, because there weren't any events spawning, and without the pit, I believe with the pit, you can potentially finish within the heart within like 3 rounds, so it's a much faster way of finishing the heart, which is another reason why it's so frustrating that it's broken. So I went ahead and finished that, and at that point there was a lot that had happened. I was having the issues with Google Chrome that was writing to my disk at the same time as Fraps, so then Fraps stopped working. And so I had actually been recording or I had been trying to record for hours, and so this is the point where I just kind of got tired and figured that I would have to end it. I had wanted to at least get Martyr's Woods done before ending the video, but with everything that happened and the fact that I could never go back and get that heart to work, I'm just gonna have to call it here. I was at 46% map completion at the point of this ending, so do with that what you will, and I guess I will see you all next episode. Hopefully we don't run into any more terrible bugs. That would be lovely.